I think that throughout my life, I really struggled with the idea of love. And not just what it is, but what it really means. And, that includes how it changes people, how it shapes our lives, how something so intangible can become one of the most powerful forces we ever experience. And so then the question becomes, how do you define something like that? Is it simply an emotion, a chemical reaction in the brain, like a feeling in your chest, or is it something beyond any definition that we could ever write down? And the dictionary tells us that love is an intense feeling of deep affection, but definitions only really describe the experience. They don't explain why it feels so much bigger than words. Most of us first learn what love is through the people around us. We watch our parents, our siblings, our families, and our friends, and we build our understanding from the relationships we're born into. But romantic love feels different. It seems to follow no universal set of rules. Every relationship invents its own language, its own boundaries, and its own philosophy. So what makes it different? Why does it sometimes feel like something that exists beyond the people experiencing it? But love has these obvious physical expressions. You hold someone's hand, you hug them, and you kiss them. And sitting beside them in a comfortable silence makes you feel that physical love. And in those moments, something changes inside of you. Your heartbeat might shift, your nerves come alive, and you become acutely aware of another person existing beside you. But physically, you remain two separate people. Yet emotionally, it can feel as though the distance between you simply disappears. And for a brief moment, two separate lives begin to feel like one. And maybe that's what love is. It's not simply attraction or companionship, but the gradual intertwining of two lives. A relationship built on more than just desire, but it is a love that is rooted in virtue. A genuine hope that another person grows into the fullest version of themselves, and their happiness begins to matter as much as your own. Their victories become your victories, and their pain becomes something you are willing to help carry. And yet even that feels incomplete. Every explanation seems to capture only one part of it. Maybe love isn't something that can be solved. Maybe it can only be experienced. What has always really fascinated me as well is that love seems to ignore the rules that govern everything else. It feels really permanent, and it feels like it stays even though nothing around us really ever does. It survives distance, it survives change, sometimes it even survives death. And maybe that's because love isn't really measured by how long two people exist together, but by the imprint that they leave on each other's lives. Which also raises another question. How can something continue to exist after the moment in which it was experienced? How can someone continue shaping your life long after they are gone? And to understand that, I think that we first have to understand what time does to us. From the beginning of the universe, time has only moved in one direction, forward. Every second that passes disappears into the past. Every conversation, every embrace, every ordinary afternoon becomes something we can never physically return to. Even take you watching this video right now. It's already becoming a memory as time passes. And so time doesn't stop. It doesn't wait for us. It moves forward without asking whether we are ready to let go. And maybe that's what makes love so extraordinary. Because in a universe where every moment disappears, love has a way of making certain moments feel as though they're never truly leave us. And I think that maybe something like that doesn't really need an explanation. The human mind can only process so much. And I think that there's something beautiful about allowing some things to simply be what they are. Not everything meaningful can be reduced to just language. There is no sentence, definition, or word in any language that can perfectly translate what love feels like. And the same can be said for grief. Loss does not speak a universal language. Every person's grief is uniquely their own, because every person's love was uniquely their own. And at first, that can feel really isolating. It is a lonely thought to realize that no one will ever understand your grief exactly as you do. No one else can replay your memories or feel that absence in precisely the same way. But I think there's something beautiful to look for inside that loneliness. Because although your grief is yours alone, so is your love. Loss is the price that we pay for having loved. And every conversation you shared, every laugh, every quiet drive home, every hug, every argument, and every ordinary moment that once felt extremely insignificant was quietly woven into who you are. And we often think of memory as almost like a recording, as though your mind stores that past and plays it back whenever you choose. But memory is far, far stranger than something just like that. When we remember something, we do not simply just replay it, we reconstruct it. A memory passes through the person we are now. It is shaped by everything that has happened since the moment was first experienced. And that means memory is not fixed. It changes as we change. The people we remember continue to take on new meaning as we grow older, understand more, and we also become different versions of ourselves. Memory is not only where we revisit the past, it is where the past continues to participate in the present. The philosopher John Locke argued that personal identity is tied to the continuity of consciousness and memory. We understand ourselves as the same person over time because we can connect in who we are now to the experiences of who we once were. Our identity then is not merely just our body or our name, it is the continuing story our consciousness allows us to recognize as our own. If memory just helps shape who we are and the person we love becomes some sort of enduring memory, then love does more than just create an experience. It participates in creating the self. Every person you love leaves behind something greater than a collection of memories. They leave behind parts of themselves. You remember the way they laughed, the expressions they always used, the music they introduced you to, the lessons they taught without ever realizing, and the habits you picked up from them. The way that they changed how you saw the world. And over time, these fragments stop feeling separate from you. They become part of the way you think, the way that you speak, and the way you understand yourself. And in that sense, the people we love become part of our identity. And maybe that's why grief hurts so deeply. And it's because it's not just that someone is simply gone. It is that a part of you, especially who you became, was built alongside them. Their presence helped shape the person standing here today, watching this video. And so when they leave, it can feel as though you have lost a piece of yourself. But you need to think that maybe that piece is not really gone. A universe where everything eventually disappears somehow makes room for one remarkable exception, and that's the people we love continue shaping us long after they are gone. Death can take someone from the world, but it cannot undo the person they helped us to become. And maybe that is how love transcends time, not just because it escapes death, but because it changes us in ways death cannot reverse. Think about the day that you leave this world. What do you expect your life to have been? And more importantly, what do you hope will remain? I think that this kind of question quietly follows almost everyone. What are you going to do with your life? How will you spend the time you have been given? And when you are lying on your deathbed, what will you remember? But maybe we have been asking the wrong question. The question is not simply how we want to live. It is what it actually means to have lived. And maybe that's why thoughts of death affect us so deeply. And I don't think that we are only afraid of just death itself. We are afraid of becoming no one. We are afraid that everything we have loved, every memory we have carried, and every version of ourselves we have spent a lifetime building might simply just disappear. But I don't think death is something we are meant to spend our lives trying to escape. I think it is something we are meant to accept. Because accepting death changes the question. Instead of asking yourself, how can I avoid the end? We begin asking, how do I live in a way that allows me to become someone? Maybe the answer has always been to love. Because to love is to have lived. And not because love guarantees happiness or protects us from loss, but because love places us in relationships with something beyond ourselves. It asks us to be changed, and every person we love becomes part of the way we think, the way we remember, and the way we understand who we are. Our identity is not built in isolation. It is built through the people who shape us and challenge us and comfort us and choose to share their lives with ours. And in that sense, your identity is you, but it is also the people you have loved. And the love you give is a reflection of the person you are becoming. To close yourself off from love is not only to avoid heartbreak, it is to deny yourself the experiences through which identity is formed and life becomes a story. Because one day, when your life comes to an end, all you will have are your memories, and maybe, just maybe in that final moment, they will no longer feel like memories. They will simply feel like a life that was lived, a life shaped by others, a life that shaped others in return, a life lived fully. And maybe that is what love has been all along. Not something we simply feel, but something that transforms us. Because to love another person is to allow them to become part of who you are. And maybe, just maybe, that is what it means to become someone.